Okay. Okay. I believe we are live. All right, cool. So we are live on YouTube now. I'm about to cancel this live here on Instagram. Go ahead, go over to my YouTube, Jacob Luendu. I'm going to be answering y'all barber questions. Any questions y'all have related to, my career in the barber industry. Any questions about techniques, tips, tricks, whatever questions you may have, I'm going to be answering them in the YouTube. So let me show y'all what it's looking like. Y'all see that? Yes, sir. So head over to YouTube, Jacob Luendu. Go ahead, tap in. We are going live right now. Peace. All right, cool. Let me figure this out real quick. 1 second. All right. Okay, cool. I think we're live. Okay, cool. I believe we are live. Get everything set up. Pardon the technical difficulties, y'all. It's my first time doing this. Don't really know what I'm doing in terms of the live stream, the technical aspect, but hey, we figuring it out. It's first time for everything. All right, bet we are here. We are live. Jacob Luendu. This is the Barber Stream. I'm here to answer any questions y'all may have regarding barbering, my personal career, my personal journey in the barbering industry, any tips or techniques that I may know. Any questions about social media, about building clientele. I'm really here to answer it all. I put out a post a couple days ago on Instagram asking all of my followers what were some questions that y'all wanted me to talk about. And I got a bunch of good questions. So I'm going to just go through these right now and go ahead and answer y'all questions. All right. Let's see. All right. First and foremost, this is a really good question that I really liked because it pertains to me specifically. Like I can really relate to this one. The question was, they wanted me to talk about building clientele as an introvert. Now, some people that know me, clients that know me, you might not be able to guess that I'm an introvert, but man, I am definitely an introvert. Well, I guess you could say I'm like a extroverted introvert. Um, Naturally, I'm introverted. I'm kind of more shy, more timid, and I really get drained when I'm around people in social environments a lot. After I'm in a social environment, I need to come back and regroup and just have some me time, some alone time where I can just decompress. Being in social environments, believe it or not, drains my energy. So I would classify myself as an introvert. Now, people might think that's funny because I'm in a career, barbering, where I need to be extroverted. I need to talk with a bunch of people every day and every week. I need to hold a conversation with every single client every single day, all day long. Now, for an introvert, that can be really draining. So this question was from Juicy Fades. So Juicy Fades, I feel you. I really, really feel you. Don't let this social media stuff, fool you. I know I may seem extroverted and outgoing on social media, and I can be outgoing, but I force myself to be outgoing. It's not my natural tendency. So I would say don't be discouraged if you're naturally introverted. Don't be discouraged about being a barber. You can still be a great barber, and you can still build clientele as an introvert. I'll say this. As an introvert, being a barber, the more you do it, the more you cut hair, the more you have those conversations with your clients, the more comfortable you're going to feel with it. You're going to start kind of having go-to topics that you'll talk about. You'll have go-to conversation starters that you'll talk about. And after you're cutting hundreds and hundreds of people all the time, you just start to kind of get used to having those conversations. So I would say, and I don't know how long you've been cutting, but I would say if you're an introvert, just keep doing it. You could ask them how their week's been. That's usually how I start out. Ask them how their week's been. How's their day going? What plans they have for the week. Here's an important point. As a barber, it's extremely important, extremely important to remember what you and your client talked about at the last appointment. I always try to make a point to remember the conversations that my clients and I had at their previous appointments. And then at the next appointment, I'll bring that up again. Like, say they told me that they're going out of town. Next time they come, I'll ask them, hey, how was your trip, man? What'd y'all do? This just shows that you care about the client. It shows that you remember what they were saying. It shows that you weren't just talking just to talk. You actually care about them, which I actually do care about my clients. So, it makes it kind of easy to remember what they're saying. But I would say if you're an introvert, something that can help you is to ask them questions about them. As a general rule, they always say people like to talk about themselves. So as an introvert, if you feel uncomfortable having those conversations or having long conversations with people you may not know that well, a good backup plan is just to ask them about themselves. Ask them how their week's going. Ask them what plans they have. Ask them what they do for a living. Ask them if they have kids or wife, family, just ask them all about themselves. The more you cut them and the more you get to know them, the more you hear about their life, you're going to have more to talk about with them. So like I said, that's a great question. How do you build clientele as an introvert? Really just lean into learning about them, remembering what they tell you about themselves, and remembering the conversations y'all had at previous appointments. More than just getting a great haircut, a lot of clients will stay with a barber and they'll keep coming to a barber if they know that barber is a genuine person and genuinely cares about them. So I would say just keep practicing it. Keep practicing it. Don't stress about it too much if you feel like the conversation is kind of dead. Sometimes silence is okay. It can be kind of awkward, but sometimes quiet time is okay during the cut. Sometimes the client might even want to just chill out and not talk. You really want to read that client. Some clients, they just really don't want to talk. Come into the barbershop to get a haircut might be their only quiet time out the day. It might be their zen time. So read their body language. If a client keeps answering your questions with one-word answers or short answers, or they're not really responding back to your questions, you might not want to keep talking to them. Maybe they just want to chill out. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they had a bad day. So yeah, just kind of read that body language. Great question. All right, let's see what the next question is. Okay, perfect. Next question is, let's see, who wrote this? Just a barber _ just a barber _ so this barber asked me to talk about reading a customer's body language. So I say that's a perfect question because I kind of just touched on that with the last question. But reading a customer's body language is super important. You don't want to be that barber that is kind of socially unaware. Okay. And what I mean by that is, like I said before, not every client wants to talk, and not every client wants to talk about every topic. For example, like maybe you're talking about a topic that is clearly making that client uncomfortable. You need to be aware enough to read that client's body language and say, hey, he doesn't like this topic. Let me switch it up. Because at the end of the day, you want to give all of your clients a pleasant experience in the chair. And that comes from the quality of the haircut, but also the quality of the conversation. So if your client is clearly uncomfortable with the conversation, then that's going to not make them want to come back. So read their body language on that. Another thing too is some clients do want to talk. Some clients really, really want to talk to you, and they're more outgoing, more talkative. And so if they keep trying to keep the conversation going and you keep ending it, that can also be kind of weird, awkward for them. They're like, oh, this dude's kind of weird. Like this dude, I don't know if he's stuck up or what. So if a client does want to talk, you need to be able to read that body language too. Usually if you can tell a client does want to talk is if you ever pause the conversation, or if there's ever a break in the conversation and they keep starting the conversation back up, that tells you that they want to keep talking. Yeah, so reading a customer's body language. What else? You also need to read a customer's body language with your clippers. So every barber has experienced this, and probably every client has experienced a barber having too sharp clippers. Sometimes the alignment on our blades can be a little off, or they can be too closely zero gapped to where you are touching the client's skin with the clippers and it's biting them. This can really give the client a bad, an uncomfortable experience. Excuse me. This can really give the client an uncomfortable experience as well. So you don't want to be that barber that's leaving clients with red marks, with cuts, with, a sore edge up or whatever. You don't want to be that barber. And, it's happened to me before. It happens to every barber, but read your customer's body language, because not every customer is going to tell you that your clippers hurt, that your clippers are biting. Not every customer is going to tell you. I really, really, to all my customers out there, I really appreciate when my customers tell me, oh, those clippers are kind of biting, because that tells me that, oh, it might be time to adjust them again. And that saves me from biting all my other clients in the future. If a client tells me, then that's doing me a favor, and all my other clients a favor. But not every client is gonna say something. They might just wince a little bit or pull back a little bit when you touch them with the clippers. So you got to read that body language. What else surrounding reading a client's body language? That's all I can really think about now. Let me check in the chat and see if anybody had anything to add to that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that right now. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, the next person is Mo Barber 83. Mo Barber 83. And this barber wanted me to talk about social media. Social media is an important tool. It's an important tool for barbers. I never like to tell people what they have to do, because at the end of the day, you're running your business. You're free to run it how you want. But if somebody were to ask my advice on how to build their business and build their clientele, I would say if you are not taking advantage of social media in this day and age in 2023, you are sleeping and you're missing out on an extremely useful resource to building your clientele. Social media is, just from a very practical standpoint, let me put it like this. I've been, ever since I've been going hard on social media, I'd say for the past year or two, literally, I kid you not, literally 90% or up, maybe 95% of my new clients tell me they come from Instagram, TikTok, etc. Social media is such a great tool for bringing in clients. Now, a lot of barbers may not be that comfortable with social media for whatever reason. Maybe they're not comfortable at creating content, and that's completely understandable. Not everybody's going to just have that natural knack. I've been creating content for such a long time now, whether that be like creating music or creating videos or doing photography, doing graphic design. I've been doing that kind of creative stuff for a long time, so the social media kind of comes easy to me. But I didn't really start experiencing growth in social media until I started kind of doing like the more funny content, the funny barber videos and stuff like that. That's when I really experienced a lot of my growth. And what happened is I saw what was working in the algorithm, which, prior to that, you can scroll through my Instagram. Prior to like last summer, I was posting mostly just fire pictures, like really well edited pictures of cuts, really nice videos of cuts, like took the videos and the pictures on my actual DSLR camera. Everything was polished. Everything was super clean. And I was doing that for years, man. I was doing that for years, but it wasn't really until I started making just like the silly, like funny barber videos from the reels and stuff that my social media started taking off. I gained like over 10,000 followers in a few months. And let me say this, having that little buzz on social media has directly affected my barber business. It's directly affected how many clientels are coming, how many new clients are finding me and coming in through social media and booking appointments with me. So it's been an extremely useful tool, and I've seen how impactful it has been in real time in my personal career. So I would say if you are not in social media, if you're not into it that much, or you're trying to get into it, I would say keep working at it. Keep trying to get your content, better. Keep getting more comfortable with it. Make sure your posts and your content looks good. And then also take note of which type of content that you make does the best, gets the most views, gets the most likes, and try to replicate that. If you say, okay, for example, I was talking to one of my boys the other day. He was like, man, bro, I'm putting out these fire videos of these cuts, but nothing's popping off. So I suggested to him, I said, okay, let me see. So the videos that he was putting out, it was just him doing a video with his phone of the cut. The video looked dope. It was fire. The cut was impeccable. It was fire, but it wasn't getting no views. So what I noticed is that a lot of times barbers will get more views in their videos when their own face is in the video, or when their hands are in the video actually doing an action, like doing a cut, like hitting it with the trimmers or putting that bald line in. That's the stuff that gets more views. And so I told him to try that out. He tried it out that same day. Boom. He got way more views on that video than he did on any of his previous videos. So the point is, you need to study it. It's not just chance. It's not just luck. What does well on social media. Look at those other barbers whose videos do really well on social media. Look at what they're doing and try to replicate that, because there's a reason why that's doing well. It's not just luck. It's not just random. It's not just, if I just keep posting, I'm gonna go viral. No, there's an actual technique to it. It takes consistency. Keep posting every day, but also study what type of posts work and keep replicating that. Man, there's so much more I can say about social media. I'm gonna have to do like a stream just dedicated to that. But those would be my first tips just right off the bat. So Mo Barber 83, if you have any other questions, feel free to DM me or hit me up, and we can talk about it further. But yeah, that would be just right off the cuff. Those would be the main first points that I would say. All right. Next question is from Brand New Barber 2K. And he said he wants me to talk about marketing. So I guess the main thing I would have to say about marketing is pretty much what I just covered about social media. That's the main marketing tool that I use. So that's what I'm most comfortable with. That's really what I can speak on most. So yeah, I'll just say the same thing. I'll say make sure you are constant and what's the word? Very regular with your social media posts. You know, post every single day, if not twice a day. You know, and make sure you're doing the type of posts that Instagram likes to see. Don't post what you think is cool. Don't post just to post. Post what Instagram likes to see. For years, like literally years, I was posting what I thought looked dope, which is haircut pictures, like taken with the camera, nice edit on them, lighting's dope, really crisp image, and videos with the camera. So videos are dope. The slow motion, like everything looked dope. But it wasn't until I kind of surrendered what I like to see, which was that stuff, and said, okay, what does Instagram like to see? And what I found is that Instagram wanted to see the funny videos. Those are the videos that were doing best. Those are the videos that were doing best for me. So I said, okay, I know I really like the fire camera pictures and the camera videos. That's what I like, but clearly the funny videos just with my iPhone is what's getting traction. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You got to be real practical with it. Study Instagram, you can just hit the reels and scroll through the reels and see what's popping. And you can literally just replicate those from your vantage point. Say you see a funny video about, that a nail technician post or something like that with a funny audio, a trending audio. Click that same audio. You can copy that same nail technician's idea, but instead of relating it to a nail technician's perspective, relate it to a barber's perspective and just use the same thing. Clearly it worked for that nail technician for some reason, so you can just replicate that same type of video for barbering. Look, I don't got no shame in biting ideas. If I haven't seen another barber do it, if